Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. God hates lying, and that's been kind of overlooked and forgotten about, right? Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. In the Old Testament, when somebody falsely accused somebody of something, whatever the punishment for that crime would have been, when they're found out as being a false accuser, they get the punishment. If you accuse somebody of committing adultery, and the Bible says you should be put to death, and then it comes out that you did not, well, the false accuser would have been put to death for falsely accusing somebody. God hates a false witness, and He judges. And that's the problem, is today Christians just think, well, God used to judge His people back then, but not so much today. Look, just because you don't see the clouds open up and God show up and tell you you're wrong, or He doesn't send a man of God that everybody knows is the prophet of the nation to come up and tell you that you've done wrong, God will judge you as a Christian when you break His law. Whether it's a small thing, a little bit of stealing, or whether it's a big thing like falsely accusing somebody, or murder, or adultery, God will judge you. It will come. It will happen. And the problem is we don't see it instantly, right? I mean, if you jerk the wheel of your car, you're going to end up in a ditch. You're going to see that damage real quick. But in the Christian life, it's like, well, I'm doing these things wrong, and I guess God doesn't judge me right away. It's okay. Well, guess what? What if it takes 3 months? What if it takes 6 months? And then all of a sudden you're like, wow, I really am. Life is miserable. God's blessing is not on my life. Time to search the Lord and confess your faults and get these things right. Christians need to be afraid. Remember, that's what this is all about. Having the fear of the Lord so you don't sin. And when it comes to lying and bearing false witness, a lot of Christians have just lost it's all right. Just twist the truth a little bit. And listen, that's the sin nature. That's the flesh. That's the sin that dwells in you. Every one of us in here have a problem with that. And, and that's why I always talk about exaggerating. We ought not to be boasting and bragging and exaggerating or finding a way to wiggle around the truth. How people often try to be evasive and not really answer the question. Were you there? Well, I wasn't not there. Or, they could come up with some way to try to not, well, I wasn't over there. Or, you know what I mean? Do you live in that house over there? No, I live in a white house over there. It's kind of funny but that's the nature. That's the sin nature, and we have to fight against that. In Proverbs 6, God says, "These 6 things doth the Lord hate, yea, 7 are an abomination unto Him. A proud look, a lying tongue." Right? He says there's 6 things that God hates. Ooh, and number 7 He really hates. And the second one He mentions is lying. He says, "Hands that shed innocent blood, and heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies." Boy, God really hates that. Then He gets to the abomination. He said, "He that soweth discord among the brethren." How much the more when you lie against the brethren? 3 out of 7? Boy, God's going to judge you. Boy, God's going to get you. I mean, look, we need to take this very seriously. We need to fear the Lord and make our words few and make them true.